Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today we are taking a look at Bloodsport Gambler. This is a preview copy of a new game that will be hitting crowdfunding, I think Kickstarter. I will post a link in a pinned comment below and in the description of where you can find more information of the upcoming crowdfund campaign for Bloodsport Gambler. But this is from Mirage Merchant, and they sent me this preview copy. As soon as I saw the art, I knew I had to take a look at this game, and I'm sure longtime viewers of the Dungeon Dive can see why. Man, just look at that awesome black and white art. Okay, so let's read a little bit about Bloodsport Gambler. Risk it all to survive the desperate world of high-stakes gambling. Bloodsport Gambler, a game before 1 to 2 players, focuses on a tense and seedy story of risk, luck, and the efforts that sway fate in your favor. The simple gameplay combines card-driven strategy, risk mitigation, and resource management with the thrill of betting, dice rolling, and pushing your luck. Thrust into desperation by swelling debts, you must gamble on the foul pit fights of Ghoul Morah in a last-ditch struggle to pay off a merciless syndicate of money lenders. With looming payments fast approaching, the only way to beat the odds is to sleuth, scheme, and sabotage. While a sure bet is favorable to warding off debt collectors, the risk of getting caught cheating could rid you of your earnings, your reputation, or worse, your life. Only those who are clever and cunning enough to pay off their debts will survive the vile underbelly of the slithering city. Bloodsport Gambler is a game that I could imagine being played within the realms of Morkborg or Dungeon Degenerates or Old World Warhammer Quest, things like that. When I was getting back into the hobby and kind of, I think the early 2000s, I think maybe around 2008, 2010 or so, kind of my third or fourth phase of the hobby, one of my favorite games was Reiner Knizia's Colossal Arena. I had a lot of fun playing that with a group and just betting on weird monsters. It was much more of a Euro style game, but this game reminds me a little bit of Colossal Arena, but with a kind of old school Games Workshop twist. Now, this is a game for 1 to 2 players. You can play solo. I think it probably shines as a head-to-head competitive game. The rules for this solo play are a little confusing to me. I'm not sure if I'm actually supposed to be playing full two-handed or just one-handed. I have kind of, in playing the game, I've kind of developed a little bit of a dummy player that I'm playing against just to add some randomness and luck to the ongoing situation on the table. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we take a look at Bloodsport Gambler. So in the box for Bloodsport Gambler, you will be getting a book here where you can keep track of your bettings. You will get a guard level card because as you play certain cards, as you try to cheat the system, as you try to cheat to gain the favor of your fighter, guards will be sneaking around and they might capture you. They might catch you cheating. And so this card here will keep track of the level of the guards in the city. You will get a very handy dandy information card here, all about your bets, the betting odds tables, your difference in the rank of the fighters, and how to figure out your favorite fighter or your underdog fighter. And then you will also get here your round phases card here, your info card, and it also has some icons on the back that you might need to look up. Additionally, you will get your loan payment plan. So in this game, you are betting on fighters in a pit fighting arena, a gladiatorial combat, and you will need to pay off 6 loans of increasing value during the game. And as you pay, if you pay off all of your loans, the final loan you have to pay off is worth 8 coins, then you have won the game and you can have a little story epilogue depending on how well you did. You also get a couple of D6 there, and then the main thrust of the game, the main part of the game, the main components here. Actually, you'll get a few wooden tokens here for your coins, for your chance, for your time and for your HP of the fighters. And then you will get to the decks of cards. So you have a deck of fighter cards, secret cards, action cards, and weapon cards. Okay, so the fighter cards, these are all of the different fighters that will be participating in the bouts. We have things like the Zealot of the Mirage, the Recluse of the Labyrinth, the Doomed Monstrosity, the Grave Filler, the Deathless Crone, the Elder, and the Demon Spawn. On a fighter's card, you will have some information. You have a great piece of art, and let's see who actually did the art for this, because the art is a huge part of this game. So this is a design, development, graphics, and production by Dylan Morton, and illustration development and editing by Eric Ratty. That's right, Eric Ratty, who worked on Dungeon Degenerates. So nice to see his name again, and you can tell that this is a well-designed game. But on the fighter cards, you will have some information. You will have their power level. This is their level, how good they are. That ranges from 1 to 3. And you compare the levels of the fighter to determine your odds. The difference in their rank will give you the odds, who is the favorite and who is the underdog, in order to get different payouts at the end of each fight. Then they will have 3 stats. You will have a strength, dexterity, and life. Their life is their HP. When that life gets to 0, that fighter is dead, and the survivor wins. Strength and dex are used to add to d6 rolls, and they will also determine what kind of weapons they have, or the weapons they have will determine which stat they use to attack. And then we have a secret deck. And the secret deck adds an element of surprise. It adds an element of luck, of secrets to each fight. When you set up your battlefield, you will deal 1 secret card to each of the fighters, or to each of the pairings of fighters, of combatants, and these will change things during the fight. Like you can add a pit of snakes to the arena, or maybe some rabid hyenas join the fight. Instead of using weapons, you will just use your bare knuckles there, or maybe there's some jungle sap in the arena, or a corrupted armorer, or mutated by the Mirage. So all kinds of different things that can happen to the fighters. And then each player will have a hand of 6 action cards. And these cards are cards that you can play to influence the fight. And there are different kinds of action cards. There are discoveries, and these allow you to reveal or to look at hidden information, so you can have a better chance of placing a beneficial bet. You have specials, you have reactions and reacts, I should say, and those are used during a fight. And then you also have sabotage, and those are different ways to sabotage different players or different fighters before the fight happens. So you have all kinds of different ways to influence the fight. There are concealed weapons in the arena, an illicit parlay, harrowing threats, deceptive disguise, a bet with a counterfeit coins, merchant murmurings, an armory stakeout, hurl flagon from the stands, tip off the moneylenders, the blacksmith informant, and gambling den gossip. So these cards will have the icon that tells you basically when they can be used, what kind of card they are. They will have the outcome of the card, and then they will have a risk. Whenever you play one of these cards, this is kind of like cheating. You are influencing the fight from outside of the arena. And so there is a chance that you can be caught cheating. And so what you do is you take the risk number. So if you were to play this Infect with Slug Paste, you would take that risk number 3, you would add it to the current guard level. In this case, it would be 1. You would roll a d6, and if you roll higher than the total, then that action goes through. The guards don't catch you cheating. If you roll equal to or lower, then the guards catch you cheating. You lose all of the money for that bet and some other bad stuff. Now, there are ways to kind of bribe the guards. There are ways to mitigate that luck, and you can spend time tokens, and every round you will have 6 time tokens that you can spend to lower the risk of that card. Or you can straight up spend money. Hey, pass the guards some money so they don't see how you are cheating. And you can also do that to lower the risk, to have a better chance of playing those cards so the guards don't see you. Finally, we have some weapon cards, and these are the cards that the combatants will be using when they are fighting. And there's a whole bunch of different ones, like a spear of glass, a broken sword, a corroded chain, a flame engulfed steel, the bludgeon of bone, serpent dagger, and the fanged shield. And these will tell you which stat the combatants are using and then how much damage they do. So let's set up an example round here. So the first thing you're going to do is shuffle all of the decks there. Get nice and shuffled here. Shuffle up your secrets. And let's shuffle up the weapons. So the first thing you do is you will deal out 6 action cards to each player. So I'm going to take a hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm also going to deal a dummy hand to a dummy player to kind of add a little bit of pressure luck, a little bit of some hidden information, just some things that can add some monkey wrenches into a solo game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure if this is exactly how I'm supposed to be playing the solo game, but this is the way that I have had some fun with it. So that is going to be our dummy player there. And then these cards will be used later. And then you will take your fighters and you will take a secret. And you will deal, each round has 3 fights. So you'll deal out 3 secrets, and those will be dealt face down. So we don't know how these are going to impact the fight. And then you will take your fighters and you will deal 1 fighter on each side of the secret. So in this first round here, we have the Bandit Queen. The Bandit Queen is a level 2 fighter. She has a strength of 2, a dexterity of 4, and a life of 3. Versus the Insect. The Insect is a level 3 fighter with a strength of 4, a dex of 5, and a life of 3. So the difference here is from level 3 to level 2, the difference is 1. So we have, it's a 2-to-1 odds in favor of the Insect. All right, the next round of combat will be the level 2 Grave Filler versus the level 2 Putrid Snake Beast. Okay, so there we go. So this is an even fight there, so there are no odds. It's just 1-to-1. And then finally in the third round, we have the level 3 Harpy versus the level 1 Doomed Monstrosity, which is a level 1. So we have a 2-to-1 odds, or 3-to-1 actually. So the Harpy is in favor, and the Doomed Monstrosity is definitely an underdog in this particular fight. Okay, and then we're going to deal out a secret weapon, 1 to each of the fighters here. This is all going to be face down. So this is our face down information. So we don't know, before we bet, we don't know which weapon each of the fighters have. Okay, so we've set up our fight here. We've set up our round. This is the things that we are betting on. We have our loan payment cards down here. At the beginning of the game, you're going to take 16 gold, and this is going to be the gold that you can spend to bet on the different fighters, or the gold that you can spend in order to bribe the guards so you can play your action cards. You also start the game with 3 chance cards, or 3 chance tokens. These have to be spent at certain times, and if you're told to spend one and you can't, then you lose the game. One of the main things you can do is, as the guards go up in level, thus making it easier for them to catch you cheating, you can spend a chance token to knock the guards back down to level 1. And then at the beginning of each round, each player will also take 6 time tokens. And again, those are things that you can spend in order to make it easier to cheat. The guards don't catch you. So I'm going to give my dummy player 6 of those as well that they can spend. So let's take a look now at my action cards. So I have some reveal cards, a lot of reveal cards here. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reveal cards and a reaction card. These reaction cards, they can only be played while the fights are going on. So this gives you a way to, in this instance, re-roll both fighters' attack rolls. So that gives you a chance to swing the odds in your favor, possibly by just re-rolling both of the attack dice. And then here we have view any 2 weapons or actions, view any 3 secrets or weapons. That's very powerful, but look at the risk of that. That's a 5. You will have to pay off the guards a lot to not see this happening. Extort former trainer. View any 2 secrets. Merchant murmurings. View any 1 secret or action. View any 3 weapons. So lots of information I'm going to be able to gain here. If you were playing against another human player, the secret information that you reveal remains secret. You're not allowed to discuss what you see. And so that is a very handy, a good strategy is to find out as much information about the fighters and their secrets as possible. But what I've been doing is, because we don't know what our opponent has, what my dummy player has, I am just kind of randomly assigning cards to the fighters, and then kind of seeing what happens at certain times. They start with 6 action cards. So on the first turn, they will always play an action card. My dummy player will always play an action card. And they will play it on a roll of a 1 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They will play it on that fighter there. So a 2. Okay, so they're going to draw 1 of their action cards, and they will play it on the insect here. Because what we are doing now is, after we've set everything up, we are taking our actions. So we're going to reveal this. This is a special card. Play 6 times to gain a coin. Okay, so my dummy player could spend 6 times to gain a coin, but I'm not keeping track of my coins for my dummy player, so this card will just get discarded as it is not useful. So now I can play a card here. And maybe I want to reveal 2 secrets. Okay, reveal any 2 secrets. So let's take a look at the odds here. What do we say? We have a 2-to-1 odds in favor of the insect. We have even odds, and we have a 3-to-1 odds in favor of the harpy. Let's look at this 2-to-1 odds. Let's say that we want to maybe try to back the bandit queen there. Maybe try to back the underdog to get some better payments. So I want to take a look at a couple secrets. I want to take a look at the secret in this fight and the secret in this fight. That is a risk of 3. Right now, my guard level is 1. So that's a total risk of 4. So that only gives me a 2 out of 6 chance to cheat with this card. I'm going to spend 2 time on this card here, and that'll lower the risk to 1. Now the risk is 2. So now I have a much better chance of cheating. And a 2, I fail. You have to beat the risk. So in order to, really nothing would happen here. The guard level would actually go up 1. And because we haven't bet anything, I'm not going to lose any gold or anything like that. There are other things that sometimes bad things will happen if you get caught cheating. We're going to say that I passed that, so the guard level will stay at 1, and then we will reveal these secrets. Now, again, if you were playing with another player, you would take a look at these and not let the other player know what's going on. So this is an endurance fight. Use a life instead of the original weapon stat. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that really changes up this fight a lot, because they both have the same life of 3, so that kind of evens the odds there. So now we're looking at just even die rolls to determine who is the victor there. And then we were going to look at this secret here. And this secret here is a festering wound from the fighter on the right, -1 to their attack roll. So the doomed monstrosity is truly doomed. They're also at a -1. So not only are they greatly at a disadvantage in this fight, a level 1 versus a level 3, but now they also get a -1 from their attack roll. So I don't think we're going to be backing the underdog in this fight here. Okay, so now we would go back to my dummy player, and we play actions until both pass. So the dummy player now has 5 action cards. So I'm now saying that there is a 5 and 6 chance that the dummy player will play another action card. So as long as I don't roll a 6, okay, I roll a 5, so they're going to play another one. And I'm going to randomize which fighter is on number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the putrid snake beast. And what do they have? Okay, so they played this risk 5 reveal. View any 2 secrets, weapons, or actions. Let's see. Oh, so they could reveal actions for my hand. That's not really going to help out in a dummy player situation. Let's say that they want to take a look at 2 weapons, or we could randomize it. We could say evens, they take a look at secrets. Odds, so they're going to take a look at weapons, and they have a risk of 5. I always spend as much time as I can to bring that down for a good chance. So they'll spend 4 time to bring that down to a risk of 1. So now they have a risk of 2. And no, okay, so they would fail that. Let's say that they succeeded though, and we would reveal 2 weapons. Let's reveal these 2 here in this fight here. Okay, so the Grave Filler is fighting with a strength weapon, so they will add their strength of 4 and to the die roll, and they do a damage of 3 with that. And here the Putrid Snake Beast is fighting with a Heavy Cleaver. That's also a strength weapon, but that is with a damage of 2. Okay, so now it's back to my turn. And let's see here. I want to see the weapons of this fight up here. So I'm going to play this. I'll play that with an additional time to knock down to a risk of 1. And the guard level is 1, so I have a risk of 2. And we pass that, so we'll flip over these cards. Okay, so the Bandit Queen is fighting with a scimitar, and she fights with her best. However, use life instead of the original weapon stat. So that's going to be a bonus of 3 there. And then a Chicken Claw with a life of 3 as well there. Okay, so we have the insect fighting with a Chicken Claw versus the bandit fighting with a scimitar. And that's the endurance fight. So we go back and forth like that until I pass and until the dummy player doesn't roll under their card total to play a card. Okay, so we both pass. Let's say the dummy player has passed. They're not going to play any more action cards. However you want to determine that. They rolled over the number of cards they have, so they didn't play. I've chosen to pass. I'm not going to play any more action cards. Now we go into the placing your bets phase. And this is where you want to place your bets. And I want to say I'm going to bet 3 on the insect here. On this is even odds. I'll go ahead and bet 1 on the... I'm going to bet 1 on the Grave Filler just because they have more life and their damage does more their weapon does more damage. And I'm definitely not going to bet on the underdog here. To bet on the favorite, you have to pay 3. So I will bet on the Harpy there. You don't have to bet on each bout, but let's keep things interesting. Now let's take a look at this fight up here as an example. So we know that this is an endurance fight. They have to use life instead of the original weapon stats. So this is basically going to be an even roll here. We're going to say the red is on the left. So 2-1. Okay, so the Bandit Queen, 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 plus 1 is 4. The Bandit Queen swings with her scimitar and does 2 points of damage to the insect. Oh, this is not looking good. However, I do have here, I have a release vermin into the arena. And this is a risk 1 card, and I can re-roll both fighters' attack rolls. That is a really good chance. I'm going to do that. So the risk now is a level 1 risk with the level 1 guard. That's a risk of 2. So hopefully I don't get caught cheating. And I don't. Okay, so I don't lose my gold. So I cheat. I release vermins into the arena. And now let's re-roll these rolls here. So again, red's on this side. 3-5. All right, so that paid off. My pushing my luck paid off in that regard. I'm going to do 1 damage to the Bandit Queen. And now we continue until there is a victor. All right, 1-4. Now, I don't have anything else I can play to help that. So that's just straight up 2 points of damage to my insect over here. It's like, oh no, things are not looking good. I might have placed my bet on the wrong fighter. And 6-4, yes, unfortunately, the Bandit Queen slashes the insect with her scimitar, slicing off the insect's head there, and all this gooey green guts comes pouring out, and I lose my bet. So after you've done all of your fights, you will see who has won the bet. As the bets are won, let's say you won, I don't know, let's say I just won, I won a couple in the fight there, but now I want to take a look at my loan payments. And each loan payment is 3 coins, 4 coins, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and so on. And you have to pay off all 6 of your loans to win the game. So I want to pay off my first loan here, which is 3 coins. So you discard 3 coins and then you place a coin to show that you have paid off that loan. If you ever want to skip paying a loan, you can do that. I think it's 1 time per game. You can spend one of your chance tokens to prolong the payment of 1 loan for 1 round. So, and that's basically it. As soon as you have paid off all of your loans, you win the game. And then there is a little kind of a little threads of fate here. Now that you have wagered your future and won or lost, you must consult the all-seeing hag for one last premonition. And we have a little chart here that you can get, kind of a little story that you can roll up depending on how well you have done. You know, the theme really comes out, these just gross kind of disgusting combatants fighting to the death in this decrepit arena of blood and gore. I love the art. The art is just so good and so evocative, and it really sails the theme quite strongly. One thing I was thinking of, you guys know how I'm always thinking of ways to use the games that I have in other ways. And I think you could very easily turn Bloodsport Gambler into a kind of a basic skirmish game in a way. And you could even kind of take maybe some of the very, very basic rules from Forbidden Psalm and use these as characters, right? So each player, let's say you were playing a head-to-head and you wanted 10 points, and you could spend 10 points to build a little skirmish army, and the points would be their value here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's take this. Let's take a 10-point army here. We would have the insect, the harpy, the grave filler, and the bandit queen. And these could actually be your minis. You know, so you have your strength weapon, your strength, your dex, and your life. I was going to say that your movement value on the battlefield would maybe be your highest stat, and that's how many inches you can move. You know, the art already exists for these, so I don't know, maybe Mirage Merchant, maybe they could add, you know, smaller cards with this art in here that you could use as standees with some little card holders, and then you can have a little skirmish game. And you could deal, each one of your characters could have a weapon, and that would determine what they attack with. And you can move around the battlefield, making it less of just a card game and more of a very light kind of skirmish game. Or you could even turn this into a little kind of Mork Borgish, super simple solo RPG using these stats. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I think you could do with these cards, in addition to just playing a fun betting game filled with cool theme, gross combatants, and pressure luck elements, which I already like. So yeah, this game is cool. I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people. I really want to get a game of this with another player. I want to see if my buddy wants to play because I think he'll like it. And I think it'll absolutely shine as a competitive game because of that nature and because of that secret information. It'll just be a heck of a lot more fun, even though I have enjoyed my time with it as a solo game. So, all right, you guys, again, I'll post a link down below so you can follow along, hopefully get some information about when the campaign is starting. They said soon. I think it's July or August. Don't hold me to that, but I'll post information below. And so you can find out more about Bloodsport Gambler. All right, you guys, take it easy. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.